Okay, let's dive in. We're looking at Tesla, specifically that really volatile stretch between June 5th and June 13th, 2025.
Right.
You shared a bunch of material covering just that week, and it was quite something.
Yeah, definitely a roller coaster.
So our goal here, especially for you maybe just getting started with stocks, is to kind of sift through all that noise. We want to pull up the key things from those sources, what actually happened, why the stock swung so much, and what you can learn from it.
Absolutely. And what's fascinating looking at your sources for that window is the sheer volatility. I mean, just before this period, the stock had already dropped, what, like 17%?
Yeah, quite a fall.
Then, bang, between June 5th and 13th, it jumps back almost 14.6%. That tells you something big was going on. Major news driving things.
So what was driving it back up during that specific week? What did the sources point to?
The biggest thing really was the Robotaxi buzz. It's positioned as, absolutely central to Tesla's future, kind of their next big act beyond just selling EVs.
Especially with regular EV sales slowing down, like the sources mentioned.
Exactly. So the Robotaxi is seen as this potential game changer. And it wasn't just vague talk that your sources pinned down a launch date, June 22nd in Austin.
Okay, a specific date. That makes it feel more real.
It does. And maybe even a first driverless ride soon after, June 28th, maybe?
Yeah.
That kind of concrete timeline gets the market excited.
But the sources also gave details, right? It wasn't like suddenly robotaxis everywhere.
No, definitely not. The details are key. We're talking a small pilot, maybe 10, 20 Model Ys, and operating only in specific zones, these sort of geo-fenced areas.
Got it, like a digital playpen for the cars.
Yeah, pretty much. And crucially, with remote human oversight. So someone's watching, ready to step in. It's early days.
Okay, so still a lot riding on this for the valuation.
Oh, hugely. Analysts see a ton of Tesla's value tied up in this AI autonomous future. This pilot is step one.
Gotcha. And besides the robotaxi, there was the Elon Musk factor, too.
Always. It's unique how much his actions move the needle. Remember that big drop before this week? Sources linked it to that public spat he had with former President Trump around June 5th.
Right, that caused a huge single-day dip.
Yeah, like 14%. But then, during this week, June 12th, he issued an apology for some comments.
Ah, okay.
And the sources noted the stock ticked up, maybe 1%. Like, the market breathed a small sigh of relief. Less drama, maybe?
And the pay package vote on the 13th.
Right. That was looming. The expectation, highlighted in the materials, was strong shareholder approval for his huge $56 billion package.
Which was seen as a vote of confidence in him.
Exactly. Confidence in his leadership, his vision, including robo-taxes. So that expectation likely helped support the stock price, too, even though it was still down for the year overall. But year over year, it was way up, showing that long-term bet on the future.
Okay, so positive momentum from robotaxi hopes and Musk-related factors. But the sources definitely didn't paint a purely rosy picture. There were big risks causing swings, too.
Not at all. And it's crucial you see both sides. Let's go back to that big plunge before this week, the one linked to the Musk-Trump feud on June 5th. That 14% one-day drop.
Yeah, how does that happen? A CEO's comments tanking the stock.
It highlights what the sources call the Musk risk. Investors worry about distraction, maybe brand damage, just general unpredictability. It adds a layer of risk most companies just don't have.
Makes sense. And the robotaxi itself, despite the excitement, had uncertainties mentioned.
Oh, yeah. Musk himself is quoted being super paranoid about safety, which is good, but it means dates can slip. The Austin date already had, apparently.
And the small scale you mentioned, 10, 20 cars.
Right. That's tiny. Scaling up is a huge challenge. Analysts like Baird, Argus, they were quoted being cautious, warning about maybe over-optimistic expectations for how fast this ramps up. Plus, you always have safety and regulatory hurdles. NHTSA inquiries were mentioned.
And regulation actually hit the stock during this week, too, right? Something about California.
Yeah, June 12th. News about a federal rollback of California's EV mandate rules. It sounds technical, but it impacts Tesla's ability to sell those zero-emission credits, the ZECs.
ZECs, right. The credits other car makers buy from Tesla.
Exactly. It's a nice little profit stream for Tesla. So news suggesting that market might shrink, that hit the stock. Sources said it dipped about 2.2% on that news. Shows how regulations matter.
Okay, so robotaxi, potential but challenges. Musk factor cuts both ways, regulatory risks. What about just selling cars, the main business?
That's where the sources show real pressure. Slowing EV sales growth overall, more competition, Tesla sales declining in some key European markets. Revenue growth in 2024 was tiny, like 1%, and profit forecasts for 2025 were lowered. It underlines this key point. The current stock price isn't really based on current car sales performance.
It's based on the future hopes, the Robotaxi, AI, all that.
Yeah, precisely. It's priced for a future that isn't here yet. The car business needs to work, but the valuation depends on belief in those big future bets. That's why news affecting those hopes, positive or negative, causes such big swings.
Okay, that really connects the dots. So wrapping this up for someone learning about investing, what's the main takeaway from this volatile week?
It's really this duality. Massive future potential robotaxi, AI driving huge expectations and the high valuation, that's one side.
And the other.
Very real present risks and volatility. Execution risk, like actually delivering the robotaxi scale.
Right.
Regulatory risks, like the ZEC thing. Competition, slowing core sales, and that unpredictable Musk risk.
So not your typical steady Eddie stock.
Definitely not. The price is super sensitive to future news and unexpected events. Understanding that is key if you're just starting out.
And the sources suggested different ways to think about it. Short versus long term.
Yeah, kind of. Short term, very volatile. Maybe watch from the sidelines unless you like big swings. Midterm, depends on Robotaxi progress and sales picking up. Long term, it's all about believing in that huge future vision Robotaxi, AI, and accepting the bumps along the way. But Robotaxi's success seemed critical for that long view.
So weigh the potential against those risks.
Exactly. The potential upside is huge, that's why the valuation is high, but the risks are significant and specific to Tesla, including its leadership.
So thinking about all that, especially how much of the price is tied to that promise of things like robotaxis, here's something for you to consider. How comfortable are you with the chance that making that future happen might take longer or hit more snags than the market expects right now? Worth mulling over as you keep learning.